I'm gonna do more than one. You're editing this, right?
I'm editing this.
Okay, great. Wait. Oh, hello there. I'm Erin K. Wilson, and these are my Sisters in Christ guest picks. My name is Erin Wilson. I wrote a book this one time. They have it here, which is really nice of them. And that's all I really want to talk about that. Now, the best thing about Sisters in Christ is you're probably telling yourself, oh, they've got records. Guess what? They've got other things as well. Get ready for it. Okay, obviously we're going to talk about records because that's why I'm here. But you should know that I'm not sure when they asked me to do this, if they were aware of like how I have really bad taste. So I'm just going to show you the things that I was most interested in. First of all, the West Side Story soundtrack from the original film. The reason that this is important to me is because I was in the show in high school and Saul Bass illustrated this this cover, and it's like one of the most iconic covers ever, and it's just like dancing triangles and lines, which is why I'm obsessed with him and try to emulate him. And it's really smart and amazing. And also I got to play Anybody's in the high school production, which is the tomboy who's on the jets, who's like, hey, Tony, let me at him. And they're like, not you, Anybody's, you're a Goyle. But then Anybody's does get to be in the fight scenes, and I was the only girl who got to fight. So that was really fun. That's a good one. Oh, did you notice this Jonas Brothers shirt that we have available for you from Sisters in Christ? I just want you to know that it looks like it's 2 shirts. It's only one, though. 2 shirts for the price of one. All 3, 1, 2, 3, Jonas Brothers. They're related. Next, okay, Tune Yards, which is just a band I really like. I don't want the fact that I have bad taste to besmirch this artist, but there's a song on here called Water Fountain, which is about water rights, and that's really cool. But also this photo is with a fruit roll-up. That's all. Wait, it's not a fruit roll-up. What's the wide kind? The fruit roll-up's the skinny kind. No, it's a fruit roll-up.
You're thinking fruit by the foot.
I'm thinking of fruit by the foot. This is not fruit by the foot. It's a fruit roll-up. I need everybody to know that Sisters in Christ has 2 copies of the Goldfinger soundtrack. And whatever we need to do to get this good bit, you can see that 007 himself is sort of like nestled inside her bikini. And I just thought that that was really important that everybody noticed that they're nestled gently in her armpit. Once again, 2 copies, so don't worry. You can get one too. Okay, I picked the Tommy soundtrack because I wanted to tell you a funny story about how I used to work at Harry Potter camp, and I was in charge of the teenagers, and we would have a, we had an initiation for new teens that would get involved, and it involved nighttime and a spooky clock tower, which was just like a second story of this church. But the new kids would get serenaded in candlelight by one of the older teens, who the only wizard-themed song that he knew to serenade the new recruits was Pinball Wizard, which is not applicable to Harry Potter at all, but is on this album. Okay, listen, Chicago the Musical, obviously I went to theater school, and that's why I'm into it, and the songs are great, obviously, and it's about ladies who murder, which is also great. But can we just take a second and look at that cover art? Why is it bunnies? Like, what's the deal? It's pretty crazy looking. I'm impressed. And of course, it's got incredible fonts on the back, which fontery is one of the hardest things about making art. So yeah, those fonts are crazy. Directed and choreographed by Bob Fosse. Next. Okay, sometimes you have to remember this like lost art or whatever of album covers, and I have no idea who this band is. They're called DAGGER, but like, look at that drawing. It made me want to buy it because look at it. Is it not the most incredible thing? What is she doing? She's got a motorcycle. She's looking over her shoulder. She's really into it herself, the motorcycle, and whoever she's looking at, I assume honking at. And it's just a really incredible drawing. Also, don't forget that there are birds, like spooky birds, also eagles, also birds of prey. I'm just saying. Be tempted. And then Desark, because I like to have feelings. I have them, and I already listen to this album a lot. And she is not only like really good at music, but she's also really nice. Because she came to town once, and I said hi to her, and she said hi back to me, and it was really nice. Being nice isn't the most important thing, but it's nice when someone's nice. Okay. Also, they've got pins here, and I actually don't know who made this, but can we talk about it for a second? I don't want you to see my crusty fingernails, but look at that. It's like a gem goblin, and not only do I want to wear this gem goblin, but I think maybe I want to like be this gem goblin and often feel like one. So this is a really good pin. If you need swag, it would go really good with a Jonas Brothers shirt. So you could leave here with music, also literature, also a new outfit. Next up, I went through all the used books because I also have a lot of bibliographic experience from my day job. And there's just a really great selection here. And used bookstores are the heart of the nation. So firstly, the bell jar. Who doesn't want to feel sad? And also, the font is incredible. I am constantly inspired by the font, specifically of this book. And they use this font even on reprints, which is really cool. Children of Dune. I'm sorry that I'm on covers of things, but we're exiting a time when the covers of books used to be these like beautiful paintings that some weirdo got paid to just like sit in their studio and paint like strange landscapes, and now everything's computer generated. So this Children of Dune is from the we do really weird paintings of landscapes era of the like 70s and 80s that I just miss and love. Next up is Nate Powell's Swallow Me Whole, which I read when I was like 19, and afterwards I said to myself, I can make comics, I can do it. And not only that, but once again, Nate Powell is really nice. I went up to him and gave him one of my comics at SPX, which is this comic convention, many years ago, and he remembered me. He specifically took the book from my hands and said, I'll read it, I promise. And I said, you lie, you're too famous. But he did read it, and then later gave me a nice comment on it. And who is famous and has lots of cool successes has the time to do that? I don't know, he's just really nice. And this book starts to talk about a person who has like neurological differences, like isn't someone who doesn't see the world in the same way, like those who might be on the spectrum might experience it. This person sees like big clouds of bugs, and the bugs like travel through walls, and people will appear as giant clouds of bugs. And you know, it's just kind of comics at its finest, in my opinion. Johnny the Homicidal Maniac was the comic that I read when I was 14 or 15 and decided that comics were like really edgy. And it's about Johnny. He does murder a lot of people, but he also is contemplative and a little existential while he murders people. And this is by the same person that created Invader Zim. You may or may not remember from, you know, childhood. I'm not sure that this book ages well. And also, you know, it's funny to have a nostalgic feeling about a book about a murderer, but I do, and it's here, and you can buy it. They have VHS tapes, and this is an original E.T. in the plastic. Sorry. But it is. It's an original. It's in the plastic. E.T. is a masterpiece, says Lou Luminick from the New York Post in 2002. Oh, okay. This is a re-release. But regardless, it's only $5. ALDOUS Huxley's A Brave New World. This, once again, graphic design is just like really sort of, just really sexy. And Brave New World broke my brain when I was in 6th grade because it was my first exposure to polyamory. And at the time I couldn't handle it because I was very like there's only one person for one person. But now, and I had to put it down, and I couldn't finish it because I was so disturbed at the idea of people sleeping with more than one person. But then I did read it as an adult, and I said, oh, I was a scared baby. But I grok this book. If you get it, you get it. This is an awful book, and you shouldn't read it. It's really, really bad. It's called The Time Traveler's Wife. It's really just like really not good, but I really love time travel, and I just wanted to say that this guy came up with the coolest time travel the main character is a chrono-impaired person who, whenever they're like upset or like not doing well, they like hiccup into a different time without any of their objects, any of their clothes, and only within their own timeline. And so the dude then will like live for a little bit in a different timeline, and then he zips right back to where he came from. But he doesn't take planes because he's not sure if he would zip back to the middle of the air where the plane was or the plane itself. And even though this book is really bad and you shouldn't read it, I thought that was a cool thing to think about. Okay, Wicked, because it came out before the very popular Broadway musical. And this book obviously is a lot darker and a lot more grown up, and has like sexier bits than the musical, although they did have a sexy song in the musical that referenced all the sex that happens in this book. But it's just a lot more severe and about the Wicked Witch of the West and how she was like a cool lady named Elphaba before they started singing about it. Ooh, look at this drawing. Look, she's like holding her little like goblin child, and there's a whole like tornado situation. It's pretty good. I loved it. Just saying. Okay, and the final thing I have to talk to you about is N.K. Jemisin's The Inheritance Trilogy. Now, if you don't know of N.K. Jemisin, you should, because she's like an innovator of our times. She is the only person, pardon me, she is the only person who has won a Hugo Award for all 3 books in a trilogy. Not this one. A trilogy she wrote after this, but no one's ever done that before. And every book that she writes is intoxicating, and she's super smart and underfunded by the publishing industry. And you should read her books, and you should buy everything with her name on it. And she's a genius, and you're lucky that you're alive at the same time as her. So I haven't read this book yet, but I should. And that's all the things that I found in this record shop that I would like to purchase or recommend you to purchase within the hour that I was looking at stuff.
Okay, great.